Many thanks for joining us on the program. I'm Okbayemi Owosheni. We begin with business news. Mobile number portability in Nigeria soared by 190% in January 2025, with 8,708 subscribers switching networks when compared to the 2,998 in December 2024. Data from the Nigerian Communications Commission has disclosed. Now, the data revealed that Nine Mobile recorded the highest customer losses as 6,716 subscribers left the network for competitors. The operator, which once held a strong market position, has struggled in recent years. Its subscriber base has remained at 3.2 million for 3 consecutive months, a significant drop from the 23.4 million it had in 2015, where it held a 15.7% market share. Now, following a motion of urgent public importance, the House of Representatives has passed a resolution calling for the suspension of the increase in automated teller machine transaction charges and the stoppage of free ATM withdrawals for customers from other banks in Nigeria. The motion, moved by a member, Marcus Onobun, drew the attention of the House to a circular by the Central Bank of Nigeria to that effect. Lawmakers were worried that this would impose additional financial burdens on Nigerians. The House has asked the CBN to suspend the policy pending proper engagement with the relevant committees on banking, finance, and financial institutions.
Disturbed that the citizens of Nigeria are already grappling with the multiple economic hardship, including high inflation, electricity tariff hike, and numerous banking service charges that significantly reduce the disposable income and negatively impacting on the economic welfare of its citizens. Worried that the imposition of additional ATM withdrawal charges will further limit the financial inclusion of Nigerians by discouraging low incomes from accessing bank services, thereby contradicting the CBN financial inclusion agenda. Cognizant of the fact that the banking sector has continued to record significant profits, imposing further charges on customers without corresponding improvements in service delivery or infrastructure is unjustifiable. Note that the role of government includes protecting its citizens from exploitative financial practice that may lead to further economic distress.
We'll go on a break now and be back with company news. Welcome back. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has strongly refuted claims alleging the termination of the Naira for crude agreement with Dangote Refinery. NNPC emphasized that it has consistently supplied the refinery with a total of 84 million barrels of crude oil since the refinery began its operations in 2023. In a statement, the NNPC Chief Corporate Communications Officer Olufemi Shoneye disclosed that discussions for the renewal of the agreement are currently ongoing with the aim of establishing a new contract. Shoneye also stated that under the deal initiated in October 2024, the 650,000 capacity refinery has received 48 million barrels to refine petroleum product. Now let's discuss this further with an expert, oil and gas expert, Dave Iyere, now joins me on the program. Thank you for joining me on the program, Mr. Iyere. Now, the Naira for crude agreement means that Dangote Refinery pays for crude oil in Naira and not dollars. Now, I would like to know why this is significant and what could have motivated both parties to go with Naira instead of the traditional US dollars, which is usually used for all oil deals in Nigeria.
Yeah, the naira for crude, when you look at it, that instead of sourcing for dollar to pay for crude in Nigeria, and they were giving the concession of paying the equivalent in naira, that's a good idea because we have scarcity of foreign exchange, scarcity of dollar because we are not getting enough dollar into the country. And for them, sourcing for this to buy crude is going to be a difficult task. So that's a big relief to the local manufacturer, local producers of refined product like Dangote, because it's going to help them in fasten them operational timeline, and there will be good supply. There will be good supply instead of waiting to bring in the crude from abroad and sourcing for the dollar to buy the crude, and there could be delay too in delivering the crude to them in Nigeria. But here it is in Nigeria. You pay dollar, you get it with ease, and that will equally pass down the gain to the consumers, to people like us who are consumers, because the price is going to reduce instead of all those delays, all the costs, all the associated costs of logistics of bringing it abroad. That actually reduce the costs.
Right now, most big contracts usually last for many years, but this one lasts for just 6 months. What would you say are the advantages or challenges of having such a short agreement, especially for something as important as an oil supply for a refinery?
Yes, I've not confirmed the duration of the agreement, whether it's for 6 months. We just learned that they cut off the contract. I don't know why they have to give 6 months contract. Maybe NNPC just wanted to do a trial and see how NNPC, whatever limited, wanted to do a trial to see how it will work out. I think maybe just a trial, but we are just starting to reap the dividend now when Dangote dropped the price of refined products. It's supposed to last for long if to enable us enjoy the dividend that we can derive from having this oil in our own country. For me, I don't know. I'm skeptical. I don't know why NNPC and the subsidiary decided to cut it off after 6 months. They would have allowed it to last for so long, and let's see the effect on the economy and the effect on the demand for dollar and every other thing that would have been affected.
Okay, the NNPC has actually come out to refute claims that the contract has been cancelled. According to the spokesperson, that's Femi Shoneye, that the contract is being renewed at the moment. But then there seem to be so many controversies as regards signing the contract or it being called off. So I would like to know, if this contract or the agreement does not continue, how exactly do you think it will affect Nigeria's economy and its ability to manage oil revenues or even keep the refinery running smoothly?
Yeah, it's my desire, and I pray that they don't cancel it, that they have to renew it, because it has a good effect it will have a good lasting effect on the economy. And the operation will continue because they will have what do you call it, a crude supply regularly from Nigeria. It's going to continue the operation timeline, and the effect, the pressure on foreign exchange demand will be low. And recently, the dollar exchange rate to naira went low, which means appreciated. And if all these refiners like Dangote, whose plant is to refine 650 million barrels per day, it's 1,000 barrels per day, doesn't have the oil supplied, crude oil supplied to him locally and paid in naira, he's going to source the dollar from this same market. And we don't have enough dollar. It's going to affect not only Dangote, it's going to affect some other companies or industries that need dollar to do their business. And it's going to affect the pump price of PMS, because right now pump price has reduced. Naturally, when price of crude goes up, the price of PMS or refined product goes up. But when it comes down like it is now, that instead of $85 barrel, they are selling at $75 per barrel, we are beginning to reap the benefit of having the crude oil in Nigeria, because the market is now competitive. If you go to NNPC, the NNPC is still selling 949 naira per liter, while MRI is selling at 860 naira per liter, and NEO selling at 865 naira per liter. I guess these two companies are getting their supply from Dangote Refinery. So it's going to affect us. It's going to affect the users. Everything boiled down to the user, the ultimate consumer, which is ordinary Nigerians. We all use PMS every day, and we use diesel, and we use kerosene and others. If we don't, we use all these products every day. It's going to affect everybody and affect the economy. It's affecting the producers too.
Like I mentioned earlier, the current contract is up for renewal. But what would you say are the main issues both NNPC and Dangote Refinery needs to consider before they go ahead with signing this new contract? Do you think that there are any roadblocks that could delay or stop them from coming to an agreement?
Well, I am not at the negotiation table, and I'm not privy to the content of the contract to enable me to know whether there's if I see the contract and I look at it, I will know whether there could be a bottleneck or something that could make them not to sign early. They to sign it early. The issue that people are speculating is speculation. It's not yet confirmed that maybe because Dangote is selling a cheaper rate now, it's cheaper than what NNPC is importing into the country. That could be one of the reasons, but I am not sure that is the actual reason. The reason is not disclosed. I read in the publication that it's due to the fact that they have front-loaded, used to front-load some contracts, which I'm not very sure. Like I'm not to those information. So what I would say is that the two parties should consider the interests of country, Nigeria, and do what is right. Yes, Dangote is willing to take crude oil and refine and sell to Nigeria and Nigerians and all markets in Africa and outside Africa. Then NNPC, I think, should support that initiative to ensure that we have a product available for the masses in Nigeria. And they support such an indigenous refinery. It's coming up because Dangote is providing employment to Nigerians too. And it's operating in our country, Nigeria. There are a lot of benefits that we can derive from having Dangote Refinery run smoothly and get the crude oil they need to run the refinery. I'm very much in support. If there's anything that can be done, I would rather appeal to both parties to see that they resolve this issue urgently. Thank you.
All right, so Nigeria spent about 930 billion naira on fuel import in February 2025. At the moment, Dangote Refinery can process 650,000 barrels of crude oil every day. Now, I would like to know how this affects the amount of fuel Nigeria has to import. Do you think Dangote Refinery is helping Nigeria to rely less on other countries for its fuel?
Oh, yes. I feel Dangote Refinery is helping Nigeria. It's helping. Like I said earlier, when you are bringing refined product from other countries, there are associated costs. There are costs, logistics costs. You need to send this cargo from other countries to Nigeria. You pay additional costs. But if we are getting the refined product from Dangote Refinery, all those associated logistics costs will be wiped away. I guess that is why we are seeing the price that Dangote is selling less than what NNPC is importing. I will support that Dangote keep on producing and servicing the local markets rather than bringing these fuel from the other countries. And what I've had, I haven't tested it. I haven't seen the petrol tested in the lab to see the quality. I've heard from people that the quality of petrol they bring from abroad is less than that of Dangote, which I cannot confirm because I have not seen the test report from the lab. So we have a lot of things to benefit and a lot of gain for having a Dangote refinery. I will continue to support that effort and other refineries that are coming up.
All right, so according to this agreement, NNPCL is supposed to provide the crude oil for Dangote Refinery. Now, but with global oil prices constantly changing and sometimes unpredictable oil production in Nigeria. How exactly do you think NNPCL can guarantee a reliable supply of oil to meet the refinery's daily needs?
Well, the NNPC declared what do you call it, state of emergency on the in the oil upstream oil sector. I think last year or thereabout. And with that, there is a recent increase in production per day. If NNPC should put their house in order with all the agencies, they will guarantee the production that they will give Dangote a maximum of 650,000 barrels per day. Right now, they are producing over 1.5 million barrels per day. And with all the commitments made to foreign partners or foreign buyers, but they should first of all look at it that we need to help the Nigerian economy. We need to help Nigerians. We cannot continue to sell outside while the local people are suffering. We don't have the products available in our country. We need it. Well, looking at it, God bless Nigeria with the crude oil like other countries. And other countries that have crude oil, they are indigent. Their citizens are not suffering. They are not suffering like we suffer here when we bring from abroad. So it's better we have our own refinery who can refine and provide that to them. NNPC have the capacity to provide the crude required by Dangote Refinery to fund well. Let's look at it. Other local refineries are coming up too. The BOA and all those other refineries are coming up. And when all of them come up, there will be increased demand locally for crude. So NNPC needs to plan a strategic plan in place to ensure that continue to supply crude oil to the local refineries. It's important. And that is how things grow. That's how organizations grow. And that is how to grow your own people. Because these refineries are employing Nigerians. They are making some families to feed. And they are making some families to be able to send their kids to school. We should encourage it. Thank you.
The and wish of everyone is for NNPCL to be able to provide fuel to Dangote Refinery. But then let's look at it from a different perspective. What if NNPCL suddenly is unable to provide crude oil to Dangote Refinery? What do you think would happen to Nigeria's ability to produce fuel? Do you think we'd have to import more fuel, bearing in mind that at the moment we spend about 930 billion naira on fuel importation? Or do you think it could also lead to higher prices or cause shortages in the country?
Yeah, all of them are possible. It's going to lead to shortages because we are having issues with importation of fuel from other countries, and we'll be having that issue. And due to the demand, we have higher demand than supply in the past. That's why we're having fuel queues. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a big challenge if NNPC is not unable to provide crude to Dangote Refinery, which means Dangote have to rely on importation of crude to be able to run efficiently the refinery, which I said before, will actually increase the cost of production, and that will definitely pass on to the consumers. Yes, Dangote should have a plan B, because there's no businessman that set up the business not to function. I think they have plan B. If NNPC is not able to supply, how will they get their crude raw material, which is the crude oil? Remember, before they started this dollar for naira, Dangote started operation, and it was bringing crude from other countries. I think that would be the plan B. Like we said, if he deploy that plan B, the thing is going to pass over to the masses, to the ultimate users, because the price will definitely go up more than what it is now when you add all the associated costs apart from the price of purchase of the crude.
All right, so I'm sure one of the goals of this contract is to basically make life easier for Nigerians. And do you think that we would see more decrease in the price of petrol in the coming days or in the coming month, that if this agreement goes through, seeing that NNPCL and Dangote at the moment has reduced the price of PMS? Do you think we'll see more reduction in the coming days and months?
Yeah, the reduction is based on the cost of production. Yeah, if we look at the cost of production now, the contribution of the cost of diesel has decreased. It's a decrease to about 600 and something, because if we have a barrel of oil, crude oil, when you refine it, you get 170 liters of all the products. And when you apply the $65 that's selling crude oil per barrel now to that, that's going to give you about maybe about $0.44 per liter of PMS. You multiply that by the current exchange rates, and that's going to give you about 660 or 670 naira per liter. The contribution for the cost of crude. So the reduction is not actually based on the supply from NNPC. It's based on the cost of production. Every businessman is in business to make profit, to make returns. So it's not going to reduce the price because there's a reduce it below what is spending to produce a liter. Definitely, with the agreement in place, it will reduce the price from what we are getting from importing the PMS into the country. It will definitely affect it, but not that it will continue to reduce if the price, the cost of production continue to decrease. That is when it will continue to reduce.
All right, now, Mr. Iyere, you would agree with me that Nigeria's government plays a big role in the oil industry. Now, what do you think the government can do to make sure that agreements like this one between the NNPCL and Dangote Refinery aren't disrupted, and that both parties, that NNPCL and Dangote Refinery in this case, can continue to operate smoothly and they are not impacted negatively by this agreement?
Yes, Nigeria government to step in to ensure that the issue is resolved on time. Let them look at what the production level is. What are the issues that cause this problem? What are the things that is causing this problem of cutting off the contract, not renewing the contract on time? They should step in to ensure that there's a mitigation plan for all those issues, all those concerns, and come up with a blueprint. Let them come up with a reprocess on how this thing can be done. I expect the government to step in, the Minister of Petroleum, I think that's the President, or the Junior Minister. They should step in and work with the NNPC and Dangote to ensure that there is an amicable settlement of this impasse, so that there will be enough crude supply to Dangote Refinery. But I don't know whether they have used the crude again to guarantee some loan. If they have used part of the crude, and that one, they need to meet that obligation first before coming home. But we need to, I will plead with the government to step in to ensure that this contract is renewed, and even if there's opportunity, extend it more than 6 months, doing 6 months renewal. This is not, we're not talking about price, we're talking about supply. Because I believe that Dangote pays the current price whenever they supply him, or if he's paying the current price that other people from other countries, other companies are paying, then what's the problem? I don't think there's any problem for me. Though the government might see that instead of getting dollar, they're getting naira, and there will be pressure on the dollar. On the dollar. But if they look at it the other way, there will be less pressure on the dollar, because Dangote is not sourcing for dollar from the country to buy crude oil. So there's gain to both sides, whether NNPC, which is representing the government, and Dangote.
Well, let's hope that both Dangote Refinery, NNPC, and the government are able to come to an agreement, and this contract goes ahead to serve its intended purpose and benefit Nigerians. Oil and gas expert, Mr. David Iyere, many thanks for your time and contribution.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Well, that's it on this episode of the program. Many thanks for joining us. I'm Okpeyemi Owosheni. See you next time.